The state of Alabama has reached a $60 million settlement with Terminix International over alleged illegal practices. The announcement said the company collected annual termite protection premiums from Alabama residents without providing the promised termite protection services.
Oh, busted.
Obi Wan Kenobi, please hold me, don't show me, Obi.
In 1927, some guy named Bruce, owner of the E.L. Bruce Company in Memphis, Tennessee, founded the Bruce Terminix Research Laboratory. In 1932, senior chemist Frank Lyons created the first termiticide, an insecticide specifically designed to kill termites. In 1955, Terminix was the first company to offer termite protection contract with annual inspections and a guarantee. In 1957, franchisees began offering residential and commercial pest control services. Terminix ended up being sold to Cook Industries, who ran the company until its untimely death in 1986, when it was assimilated by the corporate hive mind that I like to call the board.
Resistance is unprofitable.
This board in particular was the global holding company ServiceMaster. ServiceMaster did what all corporations do, which was to grow the company as large as they could by promising more than they could deliver at the cost of their many dissatisfied employees. Terminix has since been sold off to UK-based Rentokil, whose largest shareholder is the infamous BlackRock. The list of problems with companies when they end up going public or being sold to shareholders is endless. But if you boil it down to one thing, it is profits over everything. Increase gross profit every year, no matter what. This means either growing sales or cutting costs. In Terminix's case, this means giving your employees a workload that they can't properly handle. Technicians and outside sales employees are given more customers to service than they should have. This forces them to skip steps and move quickly through their stops just so they can get through the day. Increasing prices for customers while buying cheaper products from vendors to save money. And when these cheaper products fail, it causes more customers to call in and complain, which ultimately leads to the technician having to go back out to the same house twice. Constantly pestering customers with add-on services and misleading promotions. Hiring overseas call centers to call current customers and tell them that they are being scheduled for a free annual inspection, only to have a salesperson show up and tell them that they need to buy more stuff. Hiring yes men into positions of management who tote the company line. People who hate the idea of actual work so much that they're willing to sacrifice their soul in order to sit inside of an air-conditioned building while telling people who do the actual work that they're not doing it good enough. These bargain bin managers will ignore valid concerns when presented to them and then regurgitate corporate buzzwords. If you disagree with the workload, then you're not being a team player. If you don't manage to upsell the new product or service, then you're not on target. If you disagree, then you're placed on a performance improvement plan.
Listen, while I have you here with Toby, I need to give you a formal warning about your job performance.
A formal warning?
It's actually not a joke.
So the criteria I use when making the determination of the worst companies to work for is simple. Using the website Glassdoor, I take a look at the ratings distribution. In the case of Terminix, the 5-star ratings are being ratioed by everything, with 1-star ratings having the highest percentage at 25 and the 5-star ratings having the lowest percentage at 17. The overall rating for this company is currently at 3.3 out of 5 stars, with only 48% saying that they would recommend this company to a friend. And the current CEO, Brett Ponton, currently has a 62% approval rating. And over here to the left, we can see the ratings by category. This is a deep dive into the company to let you know what areas need the most improvement. Ranked highest at 3.7 out of 5 stars is diversity and inclusion, and this is not a surprise. Not because Terminix prides themselves on their spectacular DEI department, no, it's because diversity and inclusion has been the biggest push from BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street Bank. And don't misunderstand the context, having diversity and inclusion is a good thing in the workplace. No person that is able to do the job that is asked of them should be denied employment for any other reason than being passed over for not being the best, most qualified candidate. But it's already illegal not to hire people based on these factors, and no good company that stands a chance of surviving in the 21st century has discriminatory hiring practices. This push from companies is nothing more than a virtue signal to the board, which makes it pointless and irrelevant when it comes to actually being a good company to work for. Most companies have made improving their diversity and inclusion score a top priority so that they can cash in on those sweet ESG funds. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about here, check out my video that explains this a little bit better called ESG, How It Started versus How It's Going. Next is compensation and benefits at 3.4. Most employees at Terminix are not excited about the pay. They think it's okay, but it's nothing to brag about. It's a company that will stay on pace with the industry average. A rough estimate of the type of annual salary you can expect is as follows. Pest control technician from $39,000 to $49,000. Outside sales representative from $81,000 to $145,000. Branch manager from $74,000 to $112,000. Service manager from $60,000 to $88,000. Termite technician from $39,000 to $52,000, and customer service representative from $31,000 to $41,000. Career opportunities and culture and values are tied at 3.2. When the company you work for treats you like a number and doesn't really seem to care whether you quit the job or not, then you don't really feel like you have a future with the company. And the two lowest rated categories are work-life balance at 3.1 and senior management at 3.0. These are by far the biggest issues at Terminix. Most of the positions at Terminix require their employees to drive to a customer's house. The bulk of the team is made up of technicians and outside salespeople. These are the ground troops. The outside salespeople will do inspections and look for as many opportunities to cram in one package as they can. They'll say that you need general pest control, preventative termite treatment, mouse traps, attic insulation, bat protection. Basically, they hit you with everything and hope that a few things stick. And then the technicians go out and perform the services. But then a funny little thing that Terminix will do is overbook appointments. Kind of like what they do with the airlines. They fill their technicians and outside salespeople schedules with way more appointments in one day that are realistically achievable. In turn, these technicians and outside salespeople tend to rush through their appointments or just call the customer and reschedule, which leads into the conversation about the managers with this company. This is the lowest scoring category for a reason. Terminix doesn't seem to like hiring people with any actual experience in the field of pest control into management positions. And this is because they would end up siding with the technicians and outside salespeople when it comes to the workload. People with experience have a good idea of what can realistically be done in one day. And the board hates that shit. The board just wants to see an increased gross profit over last year no matter what it takes. They don't need people who actually know how to do the job telling them that it's impossible. They want someone who couldn't figure out what they wanted to do after high school, so they just got a business degree to keep dad happy, telling them yes sir and yes ma'am. They don't want actual leaders, they want enforcers. So when the technicians and the outside salespeople start expressing their concerns about the unrealistic expectations, they get a practiced corporate message that goes something along the lines of this.
Our work here is too important. We are protecting our customers' homes, and you are a first-in-class technician working for the employer of choice in the field of pest control. Your cooperation is appreciated. Resistance is not profitable.
Basically, they find fancy ways of telling you that you're not being a team player so that they can crank up the production line. And the worst part is, they know that the technicians, the customer service advocates, and the outside salespeople are right. But their job is not to listen to them. It's to enforce the production quotas set by scuzz-buzzard number crunchers who are probably on the golf course by the time their technicians hit their third stop. In conclusion, I want you to keep in mind that not all locations are the same. There are good Terminix locations out there that are being managed by qualified individuals who know how to keep their employees happy. This video is not meant to be a one-size-fits-all rundown of the company. There are plenty of people out there who love their jobs with Terminix. But there is also a reason that more people have given this company a 1-star rating than they have a 5. It may not be all locations, but the evidence supports that most locations are struggling with unrealistic expectations and managers that don't care. It seems to me that this is just another corporation who cares more about increased profit than it does its people. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make profit. That's kind of the whole reason for owning a business in the first place. But there is a difference between maintaining a healthy profit that allows your employees to have a good work-life balance and simply increasing profit over last year because that's what the shareholders want for a bigger dividend. This is why I will always recommend finding a good small business to work for. Shareholders ruin many companies because all they care about is getting loads more money back than what they put in for their investment. And smaller private companies are not beholden to these shareholders. Private companies are more likely to promote from within and promote people who actually have experience in the field. So if you don't want to feel like a number and you want a manager that actually knows the line of work that you're in, then skip these corporate conglomerates and work for a good local company. Listen, all the job talk we do on this channel is fun and all, but this next part is only for a select few of you weirdos out there. If you're a fan of history, mystery, religion, aliens, UFOs, and other weird stories, then I'd like to invite you to check out my new channel called The NebrAlien Show. Are you curious about the possible extraterrestrial religion? How about a real-world matrix or evidence of alien life? These are all episodes you can check out now on the NebrAlien Show channel. And of course, I appreciate you helping me in my quest to overthrow the corporate hive mind known as the board by subscribing to this channel. Thanks again for watching the video. Be sure to check out the NebrAlien Show and take care of yourselves out there. We'll see you.
You made this? Awesome.
I ride a hippopotamus. I ride my hippopotamus. You can ride my hippopotamus. I ride a hippopotamus. I ride a hippopotamus. You can ride my hippopotamus. You can ride my hippopotamus.